Okay, so this is the second video on graphing linear equations. On this we're using the x and y intercepts, and then we're also writing this in function notation. Alright, so first let's just find our intercepts. If I put 0 in for x, then I'm finding the y-intercept. So y is 2. Right, there's my y-intercept because this ordered pair will be on the y-axis. And then if I put 0 in for y, I'll get this right in a minute, and solve for x, that will give me the x-intercept. So plus 6 times 0. I'm just dividing by 4 because basically the other term is gone because it's just 0. So x is 3. So I have found my intercepts, right, at 0, 2, and 3, 0. I can always do that checkpoint, but you know what? I'm going to do the checkpoint after I solve this for y and write it in function notation. So if I take the 4x plus 6y equals 12, subtract the 4x, think of this as just rearranging your equation. Right, and I write the negative 4x first because I'm putting it in the form of f of x equals mx plus b. Divide all the terms by 6. I prefer that you just put a line under each term so you don't leave one out or miss a sign. It's easy to do that if you're not careful. Now it's going to be solved for y, so I'm going to write it with the f of x. I'm replacing the y with f of x. I'm also simplifying the fraction negative 4/6. Will be negative 2/3, and then 12 divided by 6 is 2. Now that it's in this form, I can choose a number that's divisible by 3, okay, for x. Well, I already have a positive 3, 0, so I'm not going to choose that, but what if we put in, we find f of negative 3, right? So I have negative 2/3 times negative 3 plus 2. Right, and so basically that's 6 divided by 3, which is 2, right? And so my ordered pair is going to be, I gotta find a place to write it, negative 3, 4. And so by putting it in the function notation first, that just helps you choose a nice x coordinate, and you don't have to end up with fraction answers that way. Okay. Let's put this on the graph. So we're going to have the y-intercept at 0, 2, the x-intercept at 3, 0, and then my checkpoint at negative 3, 4. And you can see that my points are lined up. This is good. So that means that we didn't make a mistake. Then I'm going to try to hit this with my line. I'll say that's good. And arrows because it goes on and on in both directions. All right. So here's the next one. It's a little blurry. Okay, I'm going to have to fix that. Okay, so now it's not blurry. I have to do a little workaround sometimes because I don't know what happens. There's some glitchiness that happens, I guess. All right, so we are going to find x and y intercepts again. So remember, I'm going to put 0 in for x and find my y. And so y equals negative 3. And then I will put 0 in for y. And then x is 9, right? So 9, 0. So there's my y-intercept and my x-intercept. Now I'm going to write this equation in function notation. So subtract x on both sides. I write the x in front of the 9 just because I'm putting it in that form, right? f of x equals mx plus b. divide by -3, and then I replace the y, so I'll have f of x equals 1/3 x minus 3. Now it's always good when you get your y-intercept at -3, right? That's a good thing. And then I'm going to find a point that's another point on this line just as my checkpoint, right? So my checkpoint is going to be, let's see, let's just use a positive 3, okay? So f of 3 would be 1/3 times 3 minus 3, which 1/3 times 3 is 1, 1 minus 3 is -2. So my ordered pair is 3, -2. And now we go to the graph. So we have a point at 0, -3, and that is my y-intercept. 9, 0 is my x-intercept, and at 3, -2 is my checkpoint. You can see that they're lined up, and I just have to hit the points here. Yep, a little low. All right, and there's the line, right? We have it graphed now. Okay, so next are vertical and horizontal lines. Now, these seem to be one of those things that students sometimes have a hard time with. You know, they have some difficulty understanding and recognizing. The whole thing here is you have to recognize an equation of a horizontal or vertical line. So when you're looking at this, notice it says x equals c is the equation of a vertical line, and that's not a function, and y equals c is the equation of a horizontal line. I also say y equals a number, right? That's the c, and that's my horizontal. My vertical is x equals a number. So that's another way to think about it. The thing for you is you'll just have to learn to recognize it. These are super, super easy to graph. But if you don't recognize it, it's not so easy. So you got to learn to recognize that you've got a horizontal or vertical line, and then we simply put it on the graph. X equals 3 is a vertical line that goes through 3. Okay, hold on here. That goes through 3 on the x-axis, right? If you wanted to mark a point at 3, that's okay. It's not necessary. And then we just draw our line. Right, and there we go. You really don't even need to put points. Now on my lab you'll need to just put a point at somewhere on 3 and then another one at 3 to get your line on there. So this is a horizontal line, right? Horizontal because it's in the form y equals a number. It is at y equals -5, so it has to go through the y-axis at -5. And it's horizontal. Mine wavered just a little bit there. And you can see we don't really have any work to do here. We just have to know how to graph this. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so I got my blank page to show up now. F of x equals 2 is the same as y equals 2, so this is a horizontal line. And we graph it at y equals 2. So it's going to go through the y-axis at 2. And we've graphed it. That's it. This is the last example. X minus 6 equals 0. Well, we want to solve this for x for graphing purposes, right? So we just add 6 to both sides. x equals 6 is a vertical line through 6 on the x-axis, not the y. This does not go through the y-axis, so it only has an x-intercept. All right, so we're at 6. We are vertical. I just have to get in the right starting place here. I'm looking at it kind of sideways. And that's it. My vertical line at 6. All right, so this has an x-intercept at 6, 0. Oh, come on. This one has a y-intercept at 0, 2. This has a y-intercept at 0, -5. It does not have an x-intercept. And then this one had an x-intercept at 3, 0, but no y-intercept. All right, so that is this lesson, and I'm going to end it now. Bye.